I have been playing Vampire.
Yeah. How is that? Are you playing it on Game Pass or something?
Yep, got it on Game Pass. It is so frustrating.
It's janky.
It's so frustrating because I find the story and the sub-stories I'm really invested in, but I also don't want to walk anywhere because the map is terrible and I don't like fighting anything.
Vampire. Here's the thing about Vampire that I kind of was bummed about, but I heard they patched it out by adding different difficulty modes.
Yeah.
Is that if you try and play a pacifist, like not actually eat anybody, you don't level up.
That's true.
So, like, it makes Sekiro look like a cakewalk because enemies just take too much damage and one-shot you. Mm-hmm. And that's not fun in a game where the gameplay isn't tight enough to, like, dance around that issue.
Yeah.
I'm getting weird dinging sounds. Are you hearing that?
No.
Weird.
It sounds like your mouse wheel is kind of rolling.
Huh.
Is that you?
No, I think what you're hearing is Ace eating a bone.
That's right. Anyway. We started, by the way.
Oh, of course we have. No, but Vampire, if you don't feed on anybody, it becomes oppressively hard to play the game. But they allow it to be a actual path you can take, and I just feel that it was almost punishing you for doing that. And so they added a different difficulty to kind of balance that out, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I have it on baby mode, story mode.
Yeah, that's the new mode. That was not there at launch.
I have it on story mode, and it's fine. But the problems, I think, are not quite the story. The biggest issue I have...
No, it's not the story.
No, I'm sorry, not the combat. The biggest issue I have is the map, which I find completely unnavigatable at times.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the alleys look alike. And then you'll go down and you'll follow the quest marker, and you'll come up to a gate that is barred from one side.
Okay.
And then you have to backtrack, and then you get lost, or at least I get lost. And there's no fast travel option. So if there's a quest on the other side of the map, it really hinders me wanting to do it.
Huh.
It's a little frustrating, I think. But I'm invested enough in everything else that's going on that I'm still in it. But it's frustrating. It's a frustrating game.
Okay.
I think.
Interesting. Interessante.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Did you know that I'm back on my bullshit?
You're going to have to specify that there, buddy, because you've got quite a long list of bullshit.
I bought MLB 19.
Yay! No, that kind of bullshit makes me happy because it's not a game you want to particularly play annually, but I feel like it's been a few years, so it feels
since 16.
Fresh. Yeah, it's fresh enough.
It is, and they've made a lot of changes to the mode I play, Road to the Show, which is the story mode.
Right.
There's a social media component now that I think is kind of fun.
Well, that's awesome.
But I saw it and I watched the trailer and couldn't hit that download button fast enough.
Well, that's awesome, dude. So you got it digitally?
Yeah, I did. Because there's no point buying it physically because it's worthless.
But there's a steelbook.
Yeah. However, I would point out that I don't care about steelbooks, and it's worthless.
And I would point out that I want you to care so you can then just give them to me.
Buy your own steelbooks.
I do. All the time.
Then buy MLB The Show steelbook.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, la-di-da.
So, Chris, we don't actually have any core topics this week because it's just the two of us. And when that happens, we don't want to do like a big blowout theme show.
Nah.
So
I like to freeball it.
I thought the first thing we could talk about, because one of the biggest news this week was Sony, out of nowhere, Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., just dropping the bombshell of the first official news of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Next gen is a real thing now. And it's not, what?
No, go on. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's weird because usually at this point, all we have is speculation and quote unquote leaks from insiders. And there's so much like anticipation and build up, and then it actually gets announced, and the cycle repeats itself. But it's fascinating because this time Sony literally came out and was like, "Hey guys, we have news."
Yeah, it's interesting. We all knew next gen, so to speak, was coming in the next year or so, and I think we all kind of expected
people
something at E3.
People that were hoping for 2019.
I think that was lunacy.
Silly. But the thing is, Sony's not at E3 this year. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. So I think we all expected it to be at E3, and then Sony said they weren't showing up. So now we were just going to wait for the big event for them to unveil it, and it was kind of quietly just like, yeah, this is what it's going to do.
But you know what I think is really cool about this reveal? Again, cool in the sense that this is our first concrete info of next gen. The only thing before this that we even knew about was the fact that Microsoft's new system is called codename Scarlet. That's all we knew. I like that it's getting the very boring tech and specs out there so that we don't have to spend part of the reveal conference or reveal video or however they're going to do it talking about the specs. Because if you remember the PlayStation 4 Pro reveal event, where it was literally just Mark Cerny up on stage talking about specs and the technology inside the box. And while it's really cool stuff, at the same time, it makes for a very dry and boring presentation. Like, there's only so many times you can say teraflops before your eyes roll back in your head.
Yeah, and there's also a component of that for average Joe gamer like me. When they say it can process a 70 billion quadriflops, you could make up anything, and I'll be like, that sounds really impressive.
Like here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
I pulled up the actual article because this was an exclusive with Wired magazine. PlayStation gave them the scoop.
Sure.
So okay, this is the kind of stuff they could stay on stage and it just like your eyes gloss over.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Julian in chat?
Hey.
Chris and I are going to be super active.
Yeah.
All the teraflops.
50 bajillion super flops.
All right. So, Chris, you ready?
Yes.
The CPU is based on the third generation of AMD's Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of the company's new 7-nanometer Zen 2 micro architecture. The GPU is a custom Radeon Navi is a custom variant of Radeon's Navi family. It will support ray tracing, a technique that models the travel of light to simulate complex interactions in 3D environments. Does any of that make sense to you?
Nope. It sounds cool, though.
I'm sure to some people it does.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure about what ray tracing was until someone explained it in our group chat.
Right. But then we got into some really cool information, like stuff that's more applicable, Yeah. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, having the text and the spec, because this is a beefy machine, like this is a pricey system. And obviously, by the time 2020 holiday hits, the components will have reduced in price. But Sony has already announced that whatever the price may be, and I'm banking on $499 baseline, I think it's going to be a $500 system at start, because Sony already announced that they're going to be selling it at a $100 loss from the get-go. So anyway, the stuff I think that was really cool is they confirmed right off the bat backwards compatible across the PS4 spectrum. If it's a PS4 game, it's backwards compatible.
That's a lesson that I think they took away from the PlayStation 4. Because
the PS3 had the impossible cell architecture.
Yeah.
And they learned from that. So the PS5 is just they stuck with the same processor. They stuck with AMD, so the tech is easier to port over. I think what also is cool is they announced that all the PSVR stuff will be backwards compatible too. All the PSVR carries over.
It's like a PlayStation 4.9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roughly.
All right. So, hold on. Okay. After that, they where is it? Yeah. So one of the other biggest things besides backwards compatibility is one of the most concrete examples that they showed was that this is going to have a solid state drive. If I recall, this is going to be the first console ever with a solid state drive.
That's not bad. I mean, it was only a matter of time. Solid state drives have been dropping in price, so.
Also, Julian, and here's the thing: I don't think we'll ever get PS3 backwards compatibility just because the cell architecture was a nightmare. But I'm hoping that eventually, the way Microsoft did it for PS1, Xbox, and Xbox 360, that we'll at least get PS1 and PS2 backwards compatibility at some point. That would be the dream. Like, just if you still happen to have the disc 20 years later, you should still be good.
Right.
But so apparently, to those in the insider, they said that one of the taglines moving forward for Sony with the PS5 is going to be no load times. And that plays into the solid state drive. And the example that they showed the Wired people was Spider-Man. They pulled up Spider-Man. They did a fast travel, and that was about on average 15 to 20 seconds of load time. They loaded it up on the PS5 dev kit, and it took 0.8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big jump. It's also, we know, going to support up to 8K. Like 4K is for bitches. They're
4K.
going.
I don't know that enough people have 4K.
Well, they don't. But here's the thing. This is what I mean. It's a smart idea because we scoff at it now, but you have to remember this isn't coming out for 2 years or like 1.5 years, and a traditional console cycle is 8 to 10 years. Like, I'd say by 2027, 4K will have become the standard. You know, the way 1080p is now, where you can go to Best Buy and get a 50-inch 1080p TV for $250.
Yeah,
like that's going to be 4K in 10 years. And then 8K will be the new thing, and they future-proofed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not smart. It's just so incredible forward thinking of them to put out 8K when 4K isn't even like the big television share yet.
Not yet, but it's growing rapidly.
It is. It's also much cheaper than I expected it to be at this point.
Exactly. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, in 5 years, it's going to be saturated. But I mean, that's the stuff we know. Concrete. And then he also did a little wink and a nod and heavily suggested that Death Stranding will be a cross-platform launch title.
Sure. I mean, at this point, you can kind of just say anything. There's no evidence to kind of disprove it. But if they're going to throw out Death Stranding, I'm inclined to believe them.
No, like Mark Cerny from PlayStation like hinted at it.
Sure, hinted.
Yes, obviously no confirmation there, but according to the article, he like paused and like got a little smile on his face. So anyway, now here's where it gets interesting, Chris.
Yeah.
So someone found an article someone posted, not an article, but a post someone made on a forum back in December of 2018. That announced every one of the specs that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they nailed it 100%. So they, like, we don't know if this is true. Obviously, in December, people like rolled their eyes, like, yeah, whatever guy that posted anonymously. But he says they're a third-party developer from the European Union, and for the last 8 months, they've been helping a big AAA company develop a launch game in 2020 for the PS5. And so then it just goes with him leaking everything they've come across. So whether or not it's true or not, I don't know. But again, it has a lot of credibility because this person nailed all of the specs that we just heard like 4 months ago.
That's not bad.
He posted it first. So he goes, and I'm just going to read the list, and I'll tell you where, because there's one thing on here that I feel is very, very not true. And it kind of casts doubt on the rest of it. And I'll tell you that when we get there, because you'll probably figure it out.
Okay.
All right. So, backwards compatible, check, yeah. Been confirmed. It will play physical games as well as and have the PlayStation Store. I don't think anyone was doubting that.
No.
They do name drop PS Plus Premium. So there's going to be 2 tiers. Think of it like back in the day of Xbox Silver and Gold. Mm-hmm. Premium gives you like beta early access, the ability to create private servers and more. I'm sure more will come for it. Then he drops the specs, which all came true. Yeah. He nailed the 8K ability. He nailed the 2 terabyte SD solid state drive. He nailed the exact 7 nanometer Navi architecture, whatever. He nailed the Ryzen 8 core thing, like, and he nailed the ray tracing. Like, these are very specific things. So then we get a little more not known. The system will also launch alongside the PSVR 2. It's going to have a huge resolution boost. It'll be wireless, a much larger field of view, eye tracking. The headphones will now be integrated. It decreases motion sickness, and it has a much more focus on VR for AAA games, and it's going to be the same price that VR is currently. And it will be backwards compatible to all existing PlayStation VR games.
Sounds promising.
He says the DualShock 5 will have a camera inside of it that'll sync up to VR. It has more analog precision for first-person shooter games. And they said, and this is where it gets intriguing, something similar to the analog trackpad that the Steam controller uses.
Okay.
Now, he says it's priced at $449. And that is an oddly specific thing. I still say it's going to be $500 minimum.
Right.
Then here's where he goes. PS4 exclusive launch games that I know of already. Gran Turismo 7 with a VR mode. A PUBG 4K remaster that's free to play with PlayStation Plus. And then the next two I think are very obvious because this is what happened with the PS4. Where it just got a bunch of remasters of PS3 games that were super popular.
Yeah.
It says we're going to get a Last of Us 2 remaster and a Ghost of Tsushima remaster. I mean, neither of those games are out yet, but if they're coming out on PS4, you know they're going to then upsell it for an even higher version on PS5.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then it says 2 to 3 more AAA games and then PSVR 2 games. And those are going to be the exclusives. Then we get to non-exclusive games that are launching. Battlefield Bad Company 3. A long time coming. That's a surprise. Mm-hmm. Then that Harry Potter game that we heard about a year ago. Remember when that leaked footage came out of that Harry Potter action game?
Yes.
And I forgot who's making it, but it's like a really big company.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Hold on, I'm typing in now. So next gen Harry Potter game. Who is it? By Rocksteady.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry, not developed by Rocksteady. So the person creating it hasn't announced it yet. It's made by Warner Brothers, so people assumed it was Rocksteady, but it's not. And then here's where it falls apart for me. Because they're saying that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a launch title. And I just don't know if I see that happening. Like Red Dead is only a few months old, like half a year old. And there's been no rumors of a GTA 6 yet. And now all of a sudden it's supposed to be done by the holiday. Like I find that highly susceptible. However, if that becomes true, then holy shit, this guy is a freaking god. But I don't know. Then we have Assassin's Creed Viking, which we already know is true because that just got announced.
Yeah.
And then Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be 2021.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a lot of information to leak. Like, I don't know if any of that's true, but the guy nailed the specs, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's looking possible.
I mean, it's been 6 years since the last Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Holy shit.
So it's more plausible than I would expect.
Well, and I guess it depends on how much of Rockstar was working on GTA 6 while the rest was doing the 100-hour crunch time of Red Dead Redemption.
Well, and Rockstar also has infinite money.
It's true.
So they can take the time to kind of make sure that it works. They may not have announced it, but we all know they've been working on it in some way, shape, or form.
Of course. We know it's eventually coming, but I think it being a launch title seems a little weird to me, if only from a business perspective. Because why would they make their game a launch title on the system that inevitably has the smallest user base?
Yeah.
Like Rockstar doesn't make games for systems that don't have anyone to buy it yet.
I would imagine it's within the first year or so of it.
We'll see. Now maybe it's a thing where it's going to launch on PS4 and Xbox One, and then like GTA 5, get a next gen version that then just causes the entire thing to resurge again and never leave the top 10 sales list. That's possible.
I can work with that.
So yeah, that's what we know so far, and what has been leaked so far about next gen.
Okay, well, I mean, it's something.
So what are your thoughts, Chris? I mean, are you looking to get next gen consoles? Are you looking to stick to just one, or like what are your plans?
Well, I'm very kind of formless in my plans.
I mean, yeah, it's all nebulous right now. We're still 2 years out of anything.
Well, I mean, and personally, I buy when I upgraded to next gen because I had something to play for it. I got an Xbox and I got a PlayStation and I got a Switch, and it's gonna happen. I don't know when it's gonna happen, and particularly at your suggested $500 price point. A little too rich for my blood. But I'll have to see. We'll have to get more details. But I'd obviously upgrade. But I need something to kind of work with. So.
Yeah, I mean, so okay. How about this, Chris?
Yeah.
Knowing what we know about existing games coming out, or even games that we don't know about but we hope will come out, like Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
They still say it's going to be an Xbox One game, but that doesn't mean that just like Death Stranding, it won't also be an Xbox Scarlet game, cross-platform.
Sure.
And like, why would you get it on the lower system at that point? It's like getting Destiny on PS3. It's like,
or Watch Dogs on the
on Xbox 360. It's like you could, sure, but why?
Yeah.
So, and also for Julian in chat, what game would cause you to buy if it was a launch title for each system? Because we don't count Nintendo in this, because Nintendo never come out at the same time. Like, Nintendo comes out halfway through every other generation, and they just don't care anymore.
They're on Nintendo time.
Yeah, they're on their own time. It's fine.
I guess Grand Theft Auto 6 would be the one. Maybe Spider-Man 2, which I'm sure they're working on.
What about God of Boy 2?
Yeah, that'd probably do it. There's certainly some single player games that would get me to snatch it up.
Like, we know Xbox now has all those new first party studios.
Yeah.
Like with a new, I mean, we know you love your Obsidian RPGs.
Yeah.
What if or the new Fable game? Because I don't think they'll be coming out for Xbox One anymore. Like, I now think they're firmly all working on next gen stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what if a brand new Fable game launched alongside Xbox Next?
Like if Xbox Next launched with Fable and PlayStation 5 launched with God of War?
Yeah.
Then I would go with the PlayStation 5.
And honestly, and if I'm being honest, I think the next Xbox will launch with Halo. I think Halo Infinite will be a launch title.
I think it'd be dumb not to.
Yeah.
But I look at my systems differently in that the first party games are what brings me to Sony.
True.
Because their first party games are unimpeachable. And the Xbox is kind of for everything else. Because I like achievements more than I like trophies. And it's really that simple.
Unless there's a game you want to play with me.
Yeah, well, of course. But I was thinking about this because there's basically very little difference between the two, except games maybe run on the PlayStation better.
Right.
But I don't get the same joy out of trophies as I do out of achievements. So.
One day.
Well, I doubt it.
One day.
I doubt it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about getting that platinum. Like, I wish all achievements need to bring me back is to have something that shows that you got it all. Like just that one little bonus. Like having it say 1,000 of 1,000 is not the same as it saying 1,000 of 1,000 and have a special icon next to it. Like that's as simple as it is for me. Like that's why I prefer trophies, because being able to get that platinum to show I 100%ed it versus it just saying 100%, it's just not the same.
See, that's crazy because it is not the same. But I prefer the numericalness because it's very rare that I ever complete a game 100%. The last one I did, I think, was What Remains of Edith Finch, and
what a good game.
It was really good. It was on Game Pass recently, so I really enjoyed playing through that. But I think the last game I 100%ed on PlayStation was the Far Cry Yeti DLC for Far Cry 4, and I just like the numbers more than I like the trophies.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just interesting to see how we both work.
Yeah, I'm like peanut butter, and you're like jelly.
I'm like peanut butter, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. You get out of here.
You get out of here with your bullshit.
You're dead.
I'm peanut butter. You're jelly. Because jam don't shake like that, Chris.
Yeah? You're just jelly and me.
Probably. Hey, Chris, remember that joke I told?
You tell a lot of terrible jokes. Which joke?
Where do baby jokes come from?
Oh, yeah. It's
when a dad joke and a yo mama joke get together and then they knock.
You're so pleased with yourself.
I am, without question.
Maybe you shouldn't be though. Maybe have you thought of that?
No, I should be 100%.
Yeah, it's like that scene. It's like that scene in X2. Have you tried not being proud of yourself?
Right? No, but Chris, I am proud because I'm so great. Chris, the best.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, Matt fucking left me. Cool. I guess I showed him.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, buddy.
I'm sorry. I couldn't look at your face that much longer without vomiting in my mouth, so I had to
shut up.
Hey, Chris, you know what we should talk about that would definitely alienate all of our audience?
Dokkan Battle?
Let's talk Dokkan Battle, baby. Actually,
yeah.
That's not. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, no. It would just be you and me then.
Exactly.
I did watch Nano's video about Trunks and Zamasu. So
did you see how apparently LR Kefla or Kale and Khalifa are like top tier now? Like one of the best cards in the game.
I haven't read their specs. What do they do?
Apparently, so this is where it gets crazy, is that they get buffed by 3 separate categories of allies. Like if you have a pure Saiyan or you have a combination or you have a Universe 6 ally in your team, they get a specified attack boost, and it's not flat. So it stacks for everybody. So they just become like fucking monsters. And then not only can they dodge super attacks, but they also have 2 guaranteed special attacks. And if they fight certain enemies, then those special attacks become guaranteed super attacks.
Do they transform?
They do not transform.
Mm.
It's just, or maybe they do. I don't even know. They don't. I don't think so. Point is, it's fucking boss looking.
That's great. I can't wait to get them in, I don't know, 6 months?
Yeah. Well, we know in July we're getting the LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Goku, and then the LR Baby, and then the LR Oob, and then the LR trio of Goku, Trunks, and Pan, and then the LR B Pan. There's like 9 LRs for the 4th anniversary.
Yep. Save your stones.
Yep. Well, we have Goku Rose, Goku Black Rose, the transforming one coming next week.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I think we don't have anything else until the anniversary.
Oh my God. I'm reading Kale and Khalifa's stats.
I'm checking this chat, and yeah, I think we lost Julian.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Castlevania. It's still cool, right?
So cool, bro.
So cool. Do we know any more about that Konami collection?
We don't. We know it's existing.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, that's all right. It's fine.
That's neat.
Neat. That's all I got.
Yeah. You want to talk some comic books, my dude?
Yeah, let's talk a little comic books before we end the day.
Some little comics.
Yeah, you know how we do.
Yeah. So I'm still a week behind on everything.
Oh, when is that going to change?
I
Like
don't know.
real talk.
I don't know when I get caught up
Like
financially.
Oh, okay. Have your sugar mama take care of you.
She's busy. She doesn't want to buy comics. She says they're not a good use of time.
Well, first of all, she should know who she married.
That's what I'm screaming.
So this came out this week, Chris.
Hold on. I'm not on you. War of Realms number 2?
2. And I'm curious how I will be enjoying this series because, unlike you, I did not read Thor leading up to this crossover event. So I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed issue 1 enough. I'm just curious how much I'll be able to get out of it.
Yeah, I'm curious too because I have been reading since Jason Aaron took over Thor way back when in God of Thunder, which was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now.
Actually, that brings me to my question for you, Chris.
Yes,
I have a project for you.
I
want you, sir, to compile a reading list for me of all of the whole Jason era Thor saga, because I know it's going between different books.
2012, by the way.
Yeah. So back to 2012, from whatever he started to the Lady Thor arc to Unworthy Thor, whatever. Just if it was a Thor book Jason Aaron wrote, I want to know what order they came in so that I can start catching up.
Okay. I will tell you though, you do not need to read the Unworthy Thor.
Okay, well then skip that. But I want to know the main Thor book.
Okay, I will get you that information.
That, sir, is your job. Should you choose to accept it, JK, it's not a choice.
Yeah, I figured. That's fine. I will happily go through it. This is the first Marvel event that I am super psyched for. Ugh, gross. So psyched, in fact, that I'm breaking my one rule, and I'm reading these tie-ins.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you got to tell me if there's any that are worth reading.
Yes. So far, Squirrel Girl is the best.
Well, okay, I don't actually count that as a tie-in because there's a difference, I think, between books, like ongoing books that have a related episode versus like most events have dedicated tie-ins that don't exist outside of the event, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the Squirrel Girl run was good.
It's nice, and it like you said when we texted, it's a great amalgam of the Loki that exists and the Loki that exists only in the Squirrel Girl universe. It's a hard act to follow because usually when that happens, is one book will just be like that Squirrel Girl Loki doesn't exist. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And in this case, they were like, no, we'll work with that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty good. Oh man, I forgot that Jason Aaron wrote Original Sin.
Really? That was not good.
No, I know. I'm shocked too.
Okay. Yeah, so like War of the Realms Journey into Mystery. That's a tie-in exclusive. That only exists for the event.
Journey into Mystery, that one is written by My Brother and Me people.
The McElroys?
Yes. Which I really struggle because I don't know who they are. But they are writing that issue. There's an X-Men one, of course. There's a Punisher one.
I do enjoy the pun of the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I think that's cute. I don't know that I'm gonna read that one, but I think that's cute.
Well, I only say that because I found this website called it's a War of the Realms comics checklist.
Yes.
And they actually go through the ones that have been released and they recommend whether it's worthwhile reading or not.
That's
So Squirrel Girl got a yes with an exclamation mark. And
accurate.
Dirty Mystery got a yes. As Guardians of the Galaxy got a mostly.
Ooh.
So that seems like to be one you can skip. And it looks like the next one is going to be Avengers 18, Thor 12, Venom 13. Then we get 3 more War of the Realms series in actual ones.
Yep.
Punisher, a tie-in called War Scrolls, and Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the Uncanny X-Men because they, as of this moment, they are in the Age of X. At least most of them are.
So what about, are you going to be reading Spider-Man in the League of Realms, where Spider-Man leads a ragtag group of heroes?
I think I'll read at least the first issue.
Okay.
See,
War of the Realms is going cray-cray. What else are you reading since you're a week behind?
Since I'm a week behind, I'm reading The Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
It's a Batman Who Laughs is an interesting book that I don't know that I can wholeheartedly recommend if you haven't been with
it's entirely
since
dependent
Metal.
of you. Yeah, it's entirely dependent of Metal.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they actually built it as a standalone. It's always was kind of like a follow-up to Metal by Snyder.
Sure, but at the same time, if you go into the comic shop and see Batman Who Laughs on the counter, and you pick it up, there's not any kind of thing on it like spun out of the pages of Metal or whatever.
Yeah, no, there is
On the cover.
I don't know if it was different for you because you got digital, but mine said like following Metal or whatever it was called.
Yeah, my covers don't say that.
Okay. Womp womp.
Well, but regardless, I mean, I think it's interesting, and I think the most interesting part is the part that's not really touched upon is the other Batman.
Grim Knight.
Yeah, the Grim Knight. I believe I said on that podcast that I got a kind of perverse Punisher-esque joy out of it.
Oh, 100%. He's basically Batman Punisher.
Yeah, but I think when they put other Batmen in powers, I think that's something that they can kind of work with a little more. I think one of the great tragedies of Metal is that all those other League of Batmen are gone.
Yeah, I miss them, but
I miss them too because I think like the Drowned, the Green Lantern one, the Flash one. I think they had some potential, but they're gone. So
yeah, they were, but boy, were they awesome at the time. The Flash one was great.
Yeah. I've been reading Batman proper, Batman adjectiveless.
Oh, so can I tell you something that my comic book store owner told me about that?
Yeah. What's that?
Because I'm sure you noticed from that it was a one-shot featuring art by Amanda Connor.
Yep.
And it was a look back at the bachelorette party for Catwoman.
The bachelor party for Batman.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, it was Batman.
Yeah.
So have you wondered why it has felt like Batman's been spinning its wheels with a couple one-shots?
Yes, I before we go into why, I want to say that issue was really nice.
It is, of course.
And I really liked reading it.
Oh, no, it was a very fun issue, and I think getting Amanda Connor to do the art was perfect.
Yes.
But the issue before that was that one where it was just him falling.
Yeah, with the Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. It was weird.
It was weird.
But that was another one-shot.
Yes.
So it turns out Tom King has been having to spin his wheels and pop out these one-shots with this rotating guest artist list because whatever happens at the end of Doomsday Clock apparently has a big effect on Batman and is going to become a core part of his book. But because Doomsday Clock is perpetually delayed, Tom King is literally having to spin his wheels and fill in the gaps because he can't move forward yet.
Well, yeah, that ties into a headline I saw in Newsarama that issue 70 was going to have the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne in the book, and he has been since removed. That makes sense. It sucks, but it is what it is. But I will say, though, that, these one shots have all been great. The Wile E. Coyote one is good. It's weird, but it's good. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just when I heard that, I was like, "That's interesting. I like that."
Yeah. I know you don't read this, but I also have really, really liked Immortal Hulk a lot.
Really? Okay, break that one down to me.
So basically, this spins out from Hawkeye killing the Hulk in Civil War II. Bruce is back, and this version of the Hulk is like a horror monster. He comes out only at night. He's more vicious than he's intelligent and vicious.
Okay.
So like, he comes across this guy who beats up his girlfriend, and at night the Hulk comes and breaks every bone in his body. And now, they had a couple of issues where they went to hell. That tied into Bruce's dad. I forget what his name is. David, I think. And now we're gathering all the Gamma people back. Doc Samson, Betty Brant, not Betty Brant. Betty Ross.
Okay.
So
Betty Crocker.
Yeah, sure, her. So we're gathering some more Gamma people together, and I think this is like a really kind of fun event. And then the art has been very interesting because the Hulk is. They've given him a too wide smile. That's very unsettling when you look at it, and that kind of adds to the unease of this new Hulk, or the Hulk that exists.
Okay.
So I give it a very high recommendation because it's only at issue 16, so the first couple of trades should already be out. But I think it's very good so far.
That's awesome. Cool.
Matt, we didn't talk about Lazarus.
Bruh. Oh, the weight between each issue is just like, I don't know what it is about Image's best books. Sex Criminals, Saga, and Lazarus just love to make you wait.
Sex Criminals has been gone for so long.
It's sad.
It is sad. But you know what? I appreciate that Lazarus is back in quarterly big issue stuff. They fit in a lot in this.
They really did.
Again, Lazarus, pretty high recommendation from the both of us.
Very much. One of the best comics you can read.
Yes. Awfully prescient, too, in these times.
Yep. Very much so.
What else?
I don't know. That's all I got.
You don't have any?
I can't talk about the rest of my books.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not there yet.
I'm not there yet. Wait, Matt, did you read the Spider-Man life story book by Zdarsky?
I did.
That's the last thing of interest because I get a lot of books like.
Look what came out this week, Chris.
Huh?
Look what came out this week.
What?
The 70s.
Yes, I know. It's in my cart to pick up on Friday. Yeah, I'm going through my list, and there's things that I read like Go Power Rangers, which I really like, but there's just not a lot that I could tell you guys because you don't have any knowledge of Power Rangers. And like the Ghostbusters 35th anniversary book, but the Spider-Man life story is really interesting, and I thought the way the confrontation between Flash and Peter and Norman Osborn was really well done, considering we nominally know Chip Zdarsky from penis jokes, comedy books, and whatever the fuck Captara was.
Right, and then like he's moved on to like Daredevil and Spider-Man and throughout the ages, and it's really interesting to see his range as a writer, and the fact that he's also a AAA artist, like it's crazy.
Yeah, and also his Daredevil run is still starting, so I can't judge it yet, but it's not bad so far. It's coming off a really high mark from both Mark Waid and Charles Soule, so
yeah. Who now we know how to pronounce his name properly.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thrilled. But no, yeah. So that's something.
Huzzah!
Do you want to talk about? Are we not talking Monkey Punch? I guess we can talk about.
Yeah, that's a great idea because I mean, Chris, you are the reason I even know who Lupin the Third is.
Well, so let's flash back. I don't want to give incorrect information. When Lupin the Third debuted on, I want to say Adult Swim, back in the early 2000s, I was kind of captivated by it. Of course, we've seen the Castle of Cagliostro multiple times. It's a beautiful, well done movie, and always, Lupin the Third kind of exists in this weird thing where, like most figures, it dipped a little bit in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and it's kind of clawed its way back up to prominence with the Fujiko Mine OVA that came out and the new series that's come out.
Well, for those that don't know, unfortunately, the creator of Lupin, the man with the best name ever, Monkey Punch, has passed away yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah,
it was very recent, and so I believe it was the same day as Notre Dame burning down. I remember
it was, because our friend made the joke that very suspicious that the creator of Lupin died the same day Notre Dame went up in flame and stuff went missing.
Yeah, that is definitely one of our friends.
It's cute.
But yeah, Lupin, I got a new respect for Lupin when I started working with TMS, which is the anime company that owns the rights to Lupin. And I got to work alongside the most recent season, and that was a lot of fun. Lupin is a great show that kind of is one of the most timeless of the long-running animes, because it is a very long-running anime. I mean, it's been around since, when did it start?
I want to say sometime in the 70s.
Like, I feel like the 70s is the gut reaction, but I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I tried reading the manga, but I don't. For some reason, manga doesn't really work for me.
Lupin the Third started as a manga in 1967.
It's worth noting out that Monkey Punch was ancient. He was in his 80s.
And unfortunately, he succumbed to pneumonia. So it never fun. No. And let's see. So the first anime was in 1977.
Yeah, I believe the first series had Miyazaki and some other people work on it, in addition to their work on Castle of Cagliostro.
Which is, yeah, and I was going to say, because of Miyazaki's work, that's why, like, one of the first Studio Ghibli films was Castle of Cagliostro, which I remember is what you first showed me about Lupin.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't know the first time I saw it. I must have just rented it from Blockbuster, because that was the thing we could still do then. But I was kind of blown away, and it's interesting to watch it now to see kind of everything that has taken something from Lupin since then. So it's a big loss, but Lupin will live forever, I think.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Indeed. Well, I mean, we are both fans, and I credit you entirely for that. So thank you for introducing me to it.
Well,
everyone's favorite thief.
He's the best thief, and he does a great job. Monkey Punch did a great job of making Lupin the most likable villain, because everyone he goes against are such scumbags,
right?
Every single one. And then Lupin shows up and is like, I guess I'll just steal whatever you love.
Yeah. Like, you never feel bad for Lupin. Like, you never feel like Lupin is a bad guy, even though he literally is a thief and is stealing everybody, and they're a lovable band of rogues.
Yeah. But then he goes up against, like, a lech who's a counterfeiter, and there's like, all right, fuck that guy, I guess.
Yeah. Or well, the newest season dealt with a basically Japan's version of an evil Zuckerberg.
Oh, that I've got to sit down and
Because
watch this.
you really do, because the whole thing is the villain uses social media to destroy Lupin. Like he uses his social media empire and his social media platform to out Lupin and like ruin his life.
That's marvelous.
It's absolutely fascinating how Lupin keeps up with the times and stays relevant.
Yeah, because it is kind of like it's like a James Bond, like the kind of globe-trotting gentleman thief. You think after a certain point, like you can't gentleman thief anymore. It's all stealing cryptocurrency. and then you know they always find a way to make it work, and you know sometimes it didn't, but he's kind of one of those characters that can kind of bounce back.
Yay! But yeah, that's a sad day.
It is. As a final note, and as something cheerier to talk about, we want to talk about Shazam.
Oh, okay. We'll be vague because there are still some people that haven't seen it, but straight out the bat, Shazam is easily top tier DC movies and easily top tier comic movies. It was just a delight from start to finish and featured things that Chris and I thought in no way, shape, or form would we ever see, A, in a actual superhero movie, and B, definitely not in the first Shazam movie.
Yes. So we had the opportunity to watch it together.
We did. I was in town.
And I don't know that I would have been able to contain myself if you weren't there, noticing the things that I was noticing.
Oh man, like we nerded out hard. Like there were so many moments where we're like, did they just really?
Saki was beside herself of how apparently cute we were.
Yeah, she lost her mind because we just kept losing our minds, and apparently we were just adorable.
Yeah, but it's. I took my wife to go see it last night, and she was very pro almost all the movie.
Yeah.
So it has that kind of, even though it's Shazam and his big dumb rogues gallery, and it still works for a lot of people. There's something about it, and you know, credit to the casting, credit to Zach Levi,
my boy,
who we've loved since Chuck. He really killed it.
Yep. And credit to just the entire family, like his foster family.
Yeah, and they do a really good job of not making a foster family awful.
Right, like the standard Hollywood trope of the foster parents that beat the kids, and so you root for the kids to move on. Like any other, if this was Zack Snyder's Shazam, the foster parents would beat him, and then he would get his powers and just like exact revenge and free all the children from the oppressive Matilda like child abuse.
Listen up, nerds. Captain Marvel fucks.
That's Zack Snyder's Captain Marvel. The Wizard didn't need someone pure of heart. The Wizard needed someone that would get revenge. It's like my favorite dub over, where it's the thing from the first Spider-Man movie, and Uncle Ben's like, "Kill them all, Peter. Find them and kill them all."
Oh my god!
Like Zack Snyder's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Zack Snyder is a piece of work.
I will say it's funny that Julian in chat goes, "How do you make Shazam dark and gritty?" You read Flashpoint.
Actually, you read Kingdom Come.
You read Kingdom Come and you read Flashpoint. Both of those are dark.
Yeah, it's hard. It can be done. It's hard. You know what I was thinking?
And you have Wonder Woman literally just stab a bunch of children in the face.
Oh, that Flashpoint animated movie is.
I can't believe they showed Wonder Woman murdering a child.
I can't believe we saw that. We saw that at Comic-Con at the preview showing, and we were aghast at how violent it was.
It was the most violent up to that point. No other DC animated movie had dared to become that balls to the wall violent
And then Battle of Atlantis occurred, and we watched a shark eat Ocean Master.
Yeah, we did.
And we're just like, okay, I guess that's what these movies are now.
And then the Red Hood, just Jason Todd murdering everybody.
That's a great question. Who are these movies for?
They're for us, Chris.
They can't be, because they're not. They could be better if they were for us.
I love them. What are you talking about, fool?
I love them too, but they're like they're so weird because they're just adaptations, and then they just suddenly throw a scene of a shark eating Ocean Master or whatever Flashpoint happened, because there was a lot. It's weird.
Yeah.
But no, Shazam is great. My theater was down to 4 showings a day, my local theater, and the 8 o'clock showing was packed.
Oh, good stuff.
So that's always very comforting to hear.
I'm just happy it's doing well.
Me too. I would have been super sad.
Like to find out that it was just a huge flop.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, there was a superhero movie that Hellboy.
I'm seeing that on Tuesday. I got witness.
I can't even bring myself to do it. Like everything I've heard about it is just so disappointing.
Yeah, but it's $5 movie Tuesday, so I got to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately I work Tuesday nights. It's unfortunate.
It is. One day you'll see it on who owns Hellboy? New Line Plus.
Yeah.
Lionsgate sure. Plus.
All the plus.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Disney Plus is like a stupid good deal?
Yes. All right, that'll be the last thing we talk about is
the third last thing we talk about.
Disney Plus came out of nowhere with the most aggressive pricing scheme. They are half the cost of Netflix, and they are less than the DC Universe app with the most content. You're getting Star Wars, you're getting Marvel, you're getting Disney, you're getting Fox.
You're getting The Simpsons.
You're like it's a disgusting amount of content for $6.99 a month. Like I was gonna get it anyway.
We're Disney people. We were gonna get it.
We are Disney people, and I'm so happy because if this gives me a chance to finally rewatch all of these Disney shows that have been MIA for years, just give me a legal way to rewatch Kim Possible, Disney. That's all I need. Okay. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Just take my money.
I had to pay $40 to that sketchy guy at Comic-Con to get those discs.
Right? Like, stop making me buy bootleg shit at Comic-Cons when I can just pay you a monthly fee and watch all of Darkwing Duck.
It's the scope of it is impressive. The only way to watch The Simpsons online now is through Simpsons World, which requires an FXX cable subscription. And it sucks. It's really bad. But for $6.99 for every season of The Simpsons, I would have paid them way more for that. And then you're throwing in every Disney Channel original movie, 7,000 hours of programming. And
not to mention all of the original content and shows coming, like Star Wars is The Mandalorian, or the Hawkeye show, or Winter Soldier and the Falcon, like the Vision Scarlet Witch like team up show. We're getting all of these shows, and like the Loki show.
Yeah, it's interesting how they look at this the way DC looks at their streaming service, because DC has put out Titans and Doom Patrol, which are, from what I've understood, very good shows. But they're a bunch of nobodies. I mean, I think the biggest person in Doom Patrol is Brendan Fraser.
Right, and meanwhile, we're getting actual Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, we're getting movie stars for this thing, so that's
not to mention they were giving us an animated show too, if I recall. Oh God, what is it? They announced an animated. Oh God. Disney. Okay, here we go. Disney Plus. Every show and original coming to the service. We're getting the Star Wars, The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Yes, I know. Thank you. We're getting the Scarlet Witch Vision show. It's called
WandaVision.
WandaVision. We're getting the Loki show. We're getting the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're getting the Hawkeye. That's it. Marvel's What If. It's an animated show featuring the voices of the Avengers, so like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, whatever, but it's animated so that they don't have to cost as much. And they're going to be doing a ton of what if alternate universe episodes. That and if there's one thing we love about comics, it's about how dumb and goofy the alternate multiverse universes can get with these shows.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. In conclusion, Disney Plus is a streaming service of many contrasts, and we're going to get it day one. I can finally finish my my Disney animated feature rewatch. You know what was the big hurdle point for that?
What?
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't own it. Very hard to find the cheap. So.
Also, we're getting a show called Marvel's 616.
Yep, they've mentioned that as well.
And Marvel's Hero Project. Those are going to be like more documentary style stuff. And then we're getting the Monsters Inc. show featuring Billy Crystal and your boy
John Goodman.
John Goodman. I want to call him Dan. I'm like, no, that's just his character.
That's him on Roseanne.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. We have to wait till November, but it'll be
yeah. But yeah, so that's about that's a wrap on us tonight. So we will see you guys next week for a nice big show. Keep an eye out. We's excited. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Bye guys. See you next week.
All right. Have a good night.